From the producer of There's Layers to This comes a new spin-off, Layers with V Dizzle, a solo series diving into the coolest corners of the internet. We're exploring breakthrough tech, digital art, pop culture, space innovation, and more. Streaming live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the show. This is season 1, episode 4 of Layers with V Dizzle. If you're new here, welcome. But for anyone who is probably familiar, this is a spin-off show from There's Layers to This. So There's Layers to This was a show that I did with Creatress, but now I am doing a spin-off with a solo series. So I'm super excited. This is season 1. And to help me kick off the season, let's bring up Keegan to the stage. Keegan, hey, are you there?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So Keegan has been joining for the past few weeks and hopefully for a few more weeks to help me kick off the show. But super grateful to have you here. How's your weekend been?
You know what? It's been pretty good. I mean, we just have 4th of July. I actually did a little run earlier in the morning. So did that before some partying and, got to enjoy some soccer games on Saturday, a little bit of watching on Sunday. And so, yeah, I guess I can't complain too much.
Yeah, speaking of soccer games, Keegan and I are going to go try and take some photos. We're going to do a meet and greet with 2 of the star players for San Diego FC. That's why I'm wearing the jacket today, because after the show, we're going to try to rush over there because they're only going to let the first 150 people go and meet their 2 top players, which is Dreyer and Aloski. So for anyone who's been following soccer and following the new team here in San Diego, they are currently in the first place overall here on the West Conference. And we're super excited. So yeah, let's get this show rolling, I guess, since we got to make it over there. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay, well, if you're new here, hello, my name is Valerie, aka V Dizzle. I started in the Web3 NFT space back in May of 2021. I found Gary V through Keegan, actually. Keegan introduced me into Gary V and that he was going to be doing an NFT collection called V Friends. At the time, I was actually studying and doing surgery and rehabilitation for professional athletes. So didn't know anything about crypto or NFTs or anything of that sort. But Keegan said, hey, this is something we should look into. So I followed Gary and I actually won in a giveaway that he was doing for the NFT. And that's how I got started. My very first NFT was gifted to me directly from Gary himself. And I was really, really shocked and surprised to see that on the secondary market, I already had offers of people wanting to buy my NFT for $140,000. That was something I had never seen in my whole life. I didn't understand why, but because of all that, I wanted to really connect with people who understood a little bit more than me of what was happening in the space. So that led me to start my meetup group here in San Diego called San Diego NFT Friends. And we have been meeting every single month since then. And I've, provide usually free food and free drinks. And then on occasion, we'll have some speakers or a panel. So I love doing that so much that I decided that I would leave my career with sports medicine and go into Web3 full time because I understood that there was something remarkable happening here with this technology. So I started a Web3 event company called Red Rug Edutainment. And oftentimes I will host side events to some of the bigger conferences. I'll do workshops and all the sorts of different things. So yeah, I've been in the space since 2021. And super excited to start the spin-off show Layers with V Dizzle. Yeah. And hopefully soon we will have some guests after Keegan is not our guest anymore. But yeah, Keegan, would love to throw it over to you for your intro.
Yeah, for those that don't know myself or anything that I've said from before on the previous episodes, public education teacher in my regular day to day job. Currently on summer break, but 10 years in the field in the classroom, and then 4 years in the district office, and so 14 years collectively in public education, San Diego Unified, and yeah, just here supporting V Diesel a little bit for her, new solo series during the summer. And so we'll see. Maybe I'll jump on in the fall. But yeah, everything that I do for Web3 NFTs and blockchain, I do it just on kind of like a side project. 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays, which is every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. But today might be a little off just because we're trying to get to that event that's scheduled here for the In Real Life Soccer meet and greet session. And then currently also continuing to build my brand, Ground Game Strong, which represents showing up, being present, and making an impact. And so I think that there are some people in the Web3 space that do that authentically and legitimately. VDizzle is one of those people. And I hope at this point, those of you that have met me can kind of feel that that is what I stand for as well. And the gold star is a little homage to myself when I used to be in the classroom and giving out gold stars to the students. And so, yeah, that's kind of my intro. And so we're going to get this going for the show for today for episode 4.
Yeah, super excited. Thank you for joining on again for another episode. But we've got some news for you, and I think it's we're gonna kick off with some Web3 news. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right, so let's bring it over to some of the Web3 news. All right, how's it looking? Can you see it?
I see a few little slides here for the Web3 alpha layer.
Yes. So we got some alpha. Maybe not alpha to some of you who are already deep in the Web3 space, but definitely for people who don't have the ability to be online all day, every day. This is going to be for you. So there was a inner huddle for the Pudgy Penguin. So for anyone who absolutely doesn't know anything about Pudgy Penguins is an NFT collection, one of the OG projects that released back in 2021. And then it was taken over by the community because the original founder was kind of not doing anything with it. It was kind of rug pulling there a little bit, but the community loved the intellectual property so much. They saw that it can really take off, that the community took it over. And basically Luca was the one who was like, hey, I'll buy this project and I'm going to build this out with the community. And so that's what he's done. And he's been very, very successful. And if you happen to own one of the Pudgy Penguin NFTs, one of the perks is that you get to get inside what they call the huddle, where it's a token gated channel in the Discord that they have, meaning you have to have the NFT in order to even access this channel. If you don't have it, you can't even see it. So if you have it, you get the privilege to hear from Luca himself in these huddles, where he kind of gives a summary and an overview of what they've done so far and where they're headed. And so some people from the holders who have been attending these meetings have been sharing to everyone else about what's happening. So they have some tweets, and this comes from one of their members, Husker, who shared what was in the huddle. So I think this is really, really interesting news. So let's see. So basically, Husker says that Luca opened up by celebrating the NASDAQ exchange bell ringing and announcing CBOE's application for the Pengu ETF filing. He confirmed that additional listings on Revolut, Webull, and other major platforms will roll out over the next 6 to 7 weeks, making Pengu more accessible than ever. Regarding the CBOE 19B4 filing, Luca explained it marks the final SEC review before ETF launch. So you might have remembered, I don't know if it was last episode or a couple episodes ago, but we did talk about Luca and the Pengus being at the New York Stock Exchange and ringing the bell. And so that was kind of a signal there that, they're filing for ETFs. So, meaning that other people can go in and hold Pengu and be part of the ecosystem. So, Pengu is their token, I believe on Solana. So, yeah, excited for them. And then plans for Q4 include launching blind box collectibles in mass market retail and toy aisles, followed by premium clip on figures this winter. Luca teased upcoming collaborations with global brands and assured us that official partners will be announced soon. So we know that Pudgy Penguins has already been in Walmart and they've been selling different products and it's been very popular. So it sounds like they're going to do some blind box collectibles, which reminds me of Labubus. For anyone who knows about the Labubu craze, there are these boxes. You can kind of see which characters you can get. You rip it open and then you see if you got like a really rare or maybe a common Labubu. So that's where my mind is going, where I think they're probably going to do with some of these penguins. Next up that he shared was the Play Pudgy Party mobile game is set to pre-launch with a community-driven push aiming for the #1 ranking across all App Store categories. So I'm really excited for this because I will share with you guys some sneak peeks of what the mobile game is looking like so far, but it looks pretty good. They're also sharing that Abstract Chain is gaining traction as a versatile blockchain for gaming and SocialFi. The team emphasized an open platform approach, welcoming only audited, to at least, deployments to ensure security while fostering organic growth across diverse applications. So, for anyone who doesn't know, we are streaming live on Abstract Chain, of course, X and YouTube, but it seems like it's been gaining some traction according to them. When asked where holders should focus their efforts, Luca urged everyone to spend 2 minutes each day sharing headlines about our exchange milestones. He stressed that converting social buzz into on chain participation is key to sustaining momentum. So, Luca knows that these headlines they need more exposure and awareness, and that usually gets people more excited to participate. They also said Lil Pudgy holders will receive the same 1,000 day SBT badges as Big Pudgy's collectors to reward loyalty. So I'm not really familiar with this, Keegan. Are you, by any chance? I can't hear you. You there? Oh, uh, there you are. Oh, okay, you weren't on stage. I lost you on stage. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Yeah, a little glitch with Streamyard, but yeah, no, I was listening the whole time. So Pudgy Penguins are continuing to make strides in the right direction. I mean, they have a lot of momentum. They have a lot of support. They've done a lot of like interesting things, partnerships, collaborations, and they're just continuing full steam ahead. And so, yeah, I didn't hear about this or know about this. Little Pudgy holders will receive the same 1,000 day SBT badges as Big Pudgy collectors to reward loyalty. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is because I don't have either one, so I'm not in the inner loop to know.
Yeah, but I'm curious. I'll do a little bit of a dive for you guys to see what that is, in case any of you are looking to get a Lil Pudgy or the main Pudgy penguin. So they continue to say the community was encouraged to pitch merch ideas via Pudgy partners for mass market licensing, while fan-driven creators like AIR and Wearables remain fully supported. Luca emphasized careful curation to maintain brand integrity. And so they're quote tweeting Steve there. But that's exciting. So there's a possibility that you could be included in some of their next merch ideas with your Pudgy. Next is actions items include 1, amplifying headlines on social channels, 2, assist in driving Pudgy Party pre-downloads ahead of Comic-Con, and 3, submitting partnership ideas. So there you go. Here you have it. Some alpha for you guys. Pudgy Penguins will be at Comic-Con, I believe, for the 3rd year in a row. So for us who live here in San Diego, we're definitely going to try and go to either their booth at the conference if we can get inside. And I'm sure they're probably going to have some pop-up for anyone who's outside of the convention. So yeah, what do you think about any of these updates, Keegan?
Yeah, I'm curious to see like what the Web3 NFT presence is going to be this year at Comic Con. I know like 2 years ago you hosted an event at the Wonder Museum in collaboration with Oni Force, and so we didn't go last year because we were in Nashville for a Bitcoin conference. But this
Yeah.
year we should be around, and I'm kind of curious to see like what's the presence going to be like because as we've been following things for those of us on X in the Web3 space, it's becoming much more normalized when it comes to crypto, stable coins, Bitcoin. It's not really looked at the same way, in my opinion, how it was a few years ago. So curious to see if they're going to see maybe some new contenders come out of left field. Maybe a new brand's going to announce something because usually at Comic Con there's like pretty big cultural announcements when it comes to media, movies, television,
Yeah.
anime, all that
Right.
stuff. I know
Mhm.
that. I do believe Marvel did say they're not going to be there again this year. I think.
Oh,
Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the audience. But that could be a variable in the equation if certain panels and certain speakers and certain stars aren't there. But I don't
mhm.
doubt it's still going to be pretty wild because when Vitazo and myself went 2 years ago, I think there was 100,000. They said 100,000 people come in for this event
Yeah,
annually.
if
Like,
not more.
and
Right.
that's like a lot of people. And when we went to the event 2 years ago, I hadn't been around that many people like shoulder to shoulder walking in years. There was just like troves
Right.
of people inside the actual Comic Con event as well as on the streets downtown,
It
all
gets
dressed up, all
crazy.
done up. It gets pretty wild. And so, maybe that'll be a great opportunity for doing some live streaming out there.
I think so. I will bet you guys that Keegan and I will be boots on the ground. Whether we can get inside the convention or not, it's all good because the streets are just blocked off on the surrounding downtown area of the convention, and people are still in cosplay walking up and down. There's booths and activations outside of the convention. There is plenty to do. If you can't get inside the convention, there is still plenty to do and see outside. And I know when we went, there was a writer's strike. So
Mm,
there still wasn't a lot of, well-known celebrities and what is it called producers that didn't go because they were on the writer's strike. But even then, despite the writer's strike, there were still tons of people. And I do think it's also because we were, it was one of the first major Comic Cons coming back after the pandemic too. So I think that
right.
still drew a large crowd. So you bet in about 2 weeks, yeah, today's Tuesday the 8th. In about 2 weeks, Comic Con will really kick off on Wednesday, the 23rd. That's usually for people who have early badges to get in, set up their booth, and see some of their stars before it gets crazy. But Comic Con really kicks off on the 24th for the general admission. So it
Yeah.
goes all the way from the 24th through the 27th. So, yeah, one of those days, and maybe if not all the days, we can try and get out there and see if we can see Pudgy Penguins or if there's going to be any other Web3 brands out there. I know in the past, Oni Force has been there, Vivi has been there. Cool Cats has been there. So yeah, I'm not sure if Pudgy Penguins is the only one this year or what, but we'll see. We'll try and get the news for you in real time there.
Hmm. Yeah.
So in other Pudgy Penguins news, I wanted to share about this. Their mobile game is going to be coming out. I don't think any specific date that I have seen yet has been shared about it. But here's a little tweet about it. For those not aware, Pudgy Penguins is about to drop a mobile game called Pudgy Party. Gameplay looks fun AF. Think Mario Party meets Fall Guys. I've talked to a couple people who've played. It's testing in select regions, and they said it's incredible. Built by Mythical Games, the team behind NFL Rivals, a mobile game with over 5 million downloads, 500,000 monthly active users, and backed by over $270 million in funding. It's a real studio, real game, built for a mainstream audience, penguins everywhere. Don't be surprised when it tops the App Store. So I bet you it will have top 10, if not the top 5 apps because we've kind of seen it already pulled off with the Bored Apes mobile game. If you guys remember Dookie Dash, they were successful in being one of the top games. So I think Pudgy and their community will get behind this and get it to the top. But this is some of the gameplay that it looks like from people who are testing it, and it looks fun. It looks cool. This is something that I would play. The colors look great. The graphics look amazing. I know that you can choose different skins and you can collect different skins. And so it looks good. What do you think, Keegan? Is this something you're gonna play when it comes out?
Yeah, I mean, I played Mario Party a long time ago, back in the day when it first came out. Um,
Hmm.
I didn't. I guess it's really cool if you have a group of friends when you're coming together and playing against each other. If it's online, I'm guessing in this case, like it can be really cool kind of community aspect and just like really good camaraderie. I'll check it out. I mean, as long as you don't need to have a penguin, like which I don't think you do. Like I think it's
No,
just
so
like
here it is. It says join the party. Oh, let me go back to it. It says join the party, free to play. So you don't need to have a penguin to play. It's a mobile game. It'll be a
yeah.
mobile
So
game.
so like Dookie Dash, yeah. So yeah, I'll definitely check it
Mhm.
out. And I think they're doing all the right stuff. They're doing very like specific moves to bring in new eyes, new ears, new people to participate in different ways. Sometimes it's the cartoon, sometimes it's on this game, but they have a separate YouTube cartoon short as well. I know that it came out a couple weeks ago. So they're just making really good touch points for people to come on wherever it fits best for them.
Yeah, so they're doing a great job. They got the plushies, they got merch, they're doing licensing with the community and their IPs. They're coming out with a mobile game. They're at the stock exchange. They're filing ETFs. They're doing
Not a
all
whole lot
different.
of people doing that. Not a
I
whole lot
don't
of
know who else.
projects
I don't
doing that.
know, but come on, guys. If you're a founder of an NFT collection, we need you to get moving. What are you doing with all those funds that you raised with everyone who minted? Just saying. Just saying. Anyways, a little jealous. I'm not a Pudgy Penguin holder, but I am a Pengu holder, so I got a little skin in the game.
And
That's
I just want to share, like, I think that part is what's really cool too. Is like, man, if you're in the community and you get to see like, the brand or the NFT project, like, and you get to see, oh, that's an extension, that's a part of me. Those are my group. Those are my people. Like, that's got to feel really special and real amazing for them. And
yeah,
and for any of the projects, any like milestones that it is, whether it's
yeah,
small, medium, or large, if you
right.
support something, you're behind something, it makes you feel good, it makes the project feel good. Like it's just overall a very good cohesive thing, right?
Yeah.
But it takes time and it takes leadership, it takes closing loops, it takes following through, which you and I have talked about. Like,
It's the dream team, man. Luca has the dream team because he's not doing it by himself. He has a
right,
whole team and the community behind him. So he's not just doing it by himself, guys. This is
yeah.
this is
And
a
so,
dream team here.
but and that's the thing too, it's like if they have to go hand in hand, right? If you don't
Hmm.
have the community and the people that are fans and supporters that are there showing up for you, showing up, being present, making the impact, then any brand is nothing without that other part. And it's much, I
Right.
mean, it's different than regular, in my opinion. There's different variables from Web 2 to Web 3, and so I think they're doing a great job for that. And I've said it before with other projects as well, whether that's VFriends or Rect Brands, but it's just like it's got to be a really cool, special thing to see kind of like come to fruition when it comes to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. So again, congrats. I feel like every week
I'm
they're
not a
gonna be
holder. I'm not a
like,
holder either, but I'm excited for them.
wait, so are you holding Pengu or no
I
Pengu?
have Pengu. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that
Okay.
was a
So you
nice,
got a
again,
little skin in the game like me.
that was
Okay.
a nice gesture. They gave an airdrop to people that had a wallet and had, I think, like as long as you were active back then, like in 2022 or something like
You
that.
were on Solana, Ethereum, like active in multiple chains. There was multiple opportunities
It was a
to
big claim for a lot. It was
It's
it
huge,
was
and he did it the right way because other projects were like, "Oh, we're only going to focus on Ethereum, right? Or we're only going to focus on Solana." He's like, "No, let's try to reach as many people as we can on different chains for different reasons. If you've been holding NFT since 2021, et cetera, et cetera."
and
So
I think that's an important thing, is that like you're not just keeping it closed off to one group or your own community. You're actually giving a handout to others to actually, okay, here's something if you want to check us out. Like, and so I think it's just a really smart move to like do the outreach in that way, because then
Yeah.
it gives a good touch point for people like, oh, this was nice. They gave me this, because that's how I felt. And I'm not a whole Penguin holder, but I was like, hey, this was, I think it was valued like at 80 or $90 at the time in Pengu. And so I still have it, and I think that's the same thing that's going to happen with Cardano at midnight. Just a little parallel. Like they're going to do a pretty big thing for a lot of people and a lot of chains, is my understanding. So, but that's a side subject, so we won't get into that.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, don't fade the Pengu is what we're saying, not financial advice. But another interesting company that you may think is leading the charge is a platform called Rad TV. And I've been part of Rad TV with my previous show. There's layers to this. But for those who don't know, Rad TV is a streaming platform, but for creators and for users. So really, it's a decentralized. You own your content, unlike YouTube or something. You actually own your content, and you can actually potentially make some money. Right? People can pay you directly to unlock certain content if they really want to see it, or they can also subscribe to your channel and unlock other features in that way. And so Rad TV is on all different platforms. They're on Android, they're on Apple, they're on VR headsets, they're on the PS5. They're the only one who is on the PS5 VR headsets. And they're also on like Apple TV. So they have been able to gain a partnership with Sony. The people who are behind this company have worked with major companies like that before. So they also have a network that they're able to tap into. And it seems like they've been gaining some traction. Like I found out about them over a year ago. So it's really nice to see them still doing their thing. And I forgot this, but I entered into a giveaway that they were doing. They were giving away this stream pass, and I found out yesterday I won. So it's in my wallet now. Let me see if I can click on this link here. All right, here we go. So it's in my wallet now, and this is it. So what's really cool about this is if you think about when you subscribe to platforms, think of Disney Plus, Netflix, Paramount, you are subscribing monthly, every single month. And sometimes you're really active on those platforms, or maybe you go on vacation and you haven't watched any content for a while, right? And another thing is you can't sell those subscriptions. You just got to cancel it. Once it's canceled, that's it, right? Well, what's cool that Rad TV is the very first platform to do streaming passes. So these are subscriptions, unlimited access to all of the content for any creator or any content that's on there. And it's a one-time subscription, and you are allowed to sell these passes. So you can see right now there's some offers, $13, but the floor is $49.51. And if you want to mint this is 0.025. So yeah, I'm super grateful. I'm gonna check it out. But yeah, I'm gonna see what kind of content is on there. But shout out to Rad TV and for holding it down. Yeah, I'm excited to see how they keep leading the charge. And maybe I don't know if we'll see like Netflix follow suit. I don't think so, but maybe there'll be some other competitors who really see that, because y'all know it's so annoying paying for a bunch of different sponsors, a bunch of different subscriptions, and having to bundle some, but then you really want Hulu, but it's not a part of the bundle, and etc. So yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts about this, Keegan?
Yeah, I remember when you told me about them a year or two ago, and how you guys kind of were doing something with them before with the other show. And
Yeah.
I've seen them sponsor a couple events, and I haven't met the team. I know they're following me. I'm following them. I think this pass looks kind of cool. I mean, I like purple. I've already said that before. I think they did a pretty
Cool
cool job with
NFT.
that. Um, you know, I guess once things go into full swing, to see how that's going to be integrated and utilized, and how it plays out. But streaming is not going to go away. Streaming is only going to continue to increase, and I think that the groups and projects that are actively building infrastructure, actively building foundations, although it may not be like loud and bright and sexy and pretty, it needs to be done before you can get to those like really cool milestones. And so, yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything negative about them, so they haven't done any drama or anything like that. Or so,
That's always a positive. That's always a positive. Yeah, I haven't met the team in person, but all the communications I've had with them, in public and in DMs, they've always seemed really nice. And I know they really cared about the creators. So if you're someone who is doing video content or you're live streaming, I really recommend checking into Rad TV because they really put the creator first in mind. Oftentimes, platforms like YouTube or Twitch, they take a huge cut out of any earnings that you make, but Rad TV, really cares. And I think they have opportunities where the creators get like 100% of their earnings, and Rad TV makes their money elsewhere, such as these passes. Yes, we are streaming on Abstract. Like I said, we're streaming on Abstract, X, and YouTube. You're saying you don't see the stream on there, Keegan?
I didn't see it. Yeah, so unless people want to confirm it, maybe it's just my.
Well, it's on mine. I don't know if because sometimes when it's streaming on yours, you
I
might
mean,
have to.
I see mine, but I don't see yours. I don't know if it's just.
Oh, I don't get too worried about it. So I
Oh,
think we're
okay.
good. We're good. I'm streaming on there, so it's
Just
fine.
want to make
But
sure you get the XP.
hmm?
Want to make sure you get the XP.
Oh, I get the XP every time. So like for those who don't know, if you're a streamer on Abstract, you do get some XP. Rumor has it is that those XP points will potentially turn into some token airdrop from Abstract. Don't know. That's not confirmed from what I've seen or heard, but it's just a rumor. But either way, it's another place to get your content out there and in front of other eyes. So go check out Abstract too. In other news, there's some more alpha, and this is truly alpha, guys. Like this is actual real alpha because I don't think too many people know about this. I certainly have not talked about this at all on any
Oh,
of my streams from There's Layers to This. And so this is the first time like I'll be saying this. We may, if you know us, we probably talked about it to you in person if we met up at a conference or something, but this is really underground, very low key. It has not been publicized at all. So there is an NFT project called Sakazuki. Okay, so let's click on their profile real quick. They do have a Web3, or sorry, they do have an X profile, but they do not update often. Okay, so you guys can see this was created back in April 2023, and one of their last tweets was a retweet from Tony Herrera. Okay, just to give you some context, like this, they do not post regularly on their X page, but that doesn't mean they're not active. There is a whole private Telegram for holders, which is active every day, 24 hours, because the members part of the NFT club are like global. Okay. So Sakazuki, so here's their bio. Our name, Sakazuki, pays homage to the timeless ritualistic bonding ceremony in Japan where sharing a drink and the clinking of glasses seals an unbreakable bond. So basically, Sakazuki is the Web3 arm of a very, very well known beverage company called Suntory. If you haven't heard of Suntory is the billion-dollar Japanese company that does everything from tea, coffee, water, and their most well known is whiskey. So, some of the brands you may be familiar with if you're in the States, here in the United States, is Jim Beam and Maker's Mark whiskey. But those are kind of like pretty, I would say, like standard whiskeys here in the US, but they have very high end, luxurious, premium whiskey that they have secondary markets where these whiskey bottles that are like unopened, not boxed, like they're still boxed and stuff, these whiskeys trade six figures, like between like I would say like maybe 5 to 6 figures, depending on the rarity. If it's limited, limited amount of whiskey bottles that were made. So Suntory has not publicly announced anywhere. They have not ever tweeted or, there's no PR article that Suntory is exploring Web3. So the only reason why I know this, and obviously Keegan knows this too, is
Alpha.
is because our very two good friends are the ones behind leading the Web3 arm. I'm not going to dox their names, but they are in the VFriends community. One of them is also part of the World of Women community. So these are really good, genuine people that we know that are helping. And so this all started back in 2023. They had even approached me to help build out the Web3 arm. And the way things are run in Japanese culture is very different than the American culture. In American culture, we like things to move fast and we like to sign contracts and deals right away. In Japanese culture, they really want to take the time to know you as a person. Not everyone is going to be a good fit for whatever it is that they're working on. And so their priority is making sure that, you're kind, you're genuine, you're authentic, you're not here to extract. So the relationships to build with a Japanese company takes a long time, many meetings, but besides just formal meetings, it's going out to get food, going out to get drinks, and doing things that way. So Sakazuki finally had released their first NFT collection last year around summertime, towards the middle end. I think it was like maybe August of last year. And that first NFT collection is called the Silver Zero Pass. And I was very thankful to be able to get one. And you had to have been personally invited to mint one of these NFTs. And the NFT to mint was around $4,000. And I decided to mint this because I really believed in my friends who were, helping to build this out, but also because of the premium like access you get. So last year they went on a trip to Japan and they had a whole curated experience for all of the NFT holders to participate in. So they got to get exclusive taste of high-end whiskeys and wines, and they got to go on very private tours of like the distilleries and meet some of the top CEO, chief executive people in the company. Mind you, Suntory is not a public traded company. So that means it is still family owned. It's been family owned for about 300 years. So in order to get to the top ranking, you have to be family. So so it's a really special thing that our friends have been able to work with Suntory hand in hand for their Web3 arm because they're not family. But there's only one guy who has been able to make this happen, and his name is Charlie. So shout out to Charlie. Charlie is known for inventing the highball machine, and Suntory really trusts this guy Charlie to really work with our friends to build the Web3 arm. So I could say on and on. I don't know, Keegan. Do you want to say anything so far? Because I'm going to talk more about it.
Yeah. Do you have any of the like video clip for them to people to see that's maybe on their profile or somewhere? Because I know, I mean, I can only speak from what I've seen and what I've done with them. And yeah, I've went to a few of their events thanks to you. Yeah, they have something really, really special. And I would say it is alpha. I mean, yeah, like I don't vocalize like really getting behind something unless I can speak on it firsthand. And this is definitely something where I can speak on it firsthand about the quality control and like bringing really special and amazing experiences and activations. And it has good people that are leading the charge. And so those are things that I pay attention to when I spend time, energy, and effort with any Web3 blockchain type of platform, project, or anything. And yeah, they definitely cover the bases for me. And I do think a lot of people will really appreciate it more and more as they start to branch out.
Yeah, yeah. So here's some content from a year ago. Has it been a year ago? Yeah, a year ago now, I think. So Centauri and I actually helped with this with Red Rug. We were hired to help with Sakazuki, and this was during VCon, Gary V's third and final conference, and it was in LA. So Sakazuki wanted to have an experience for people who may not be holders to try some of their high-end premium whiskeys and wines, and to potentially look for members who would be a good fit for their next round of NFT drops, right? So what they did was they had an invite only experience where you could partner with Raizu. And so basically, what I helped to do was we partnered with a bunch of the communities out of the VeeFriends community. So here we had partnered with Leaders on Chain, World of Women, the Spectacular VeeFriend holders, the Gorillas Breakfast, which is Gorillas is another NFT character from the VeeFriends. 288 Tuesday. A lot of you guys may know Whiskey 288 from Bad Teeth's collection and whiskeys. Hangout Hawk, which is another NFT character from VeeFriends. Fuck It Friday 2, which is from the Bored Ape community, and Barbershop, the Fade Lounge, which is another community out of the VeeFriends. So yeah, we partnered with all of these communities, and we gave these cards. They look like debit cards. They basically look like these, actually. And they had NFCs, chips enables where so these leaders, sorry, let me back up. If you were the host of any of these events during VCon, because these were all side events happening also at VCon, if you were the event organizer, we gave you one of these cards, and we told them their job is to get people to scan the cards. And if people were to scan the cards, they get what's called a Raizu badge. And people would have to go to 3 or more events to get these badges and collect them. And that gave you exclusive access to come to the Sakazuki event.
So you couldn't just go to this party. You couldn't just show up to this event.
You had to have been a Sakazuki Silver Zero holder. You had to have been personally invited, or you have to have attended 3 or more of these side events. And not just that, you had to have proof by getting the Raizu badge. And the Raizu badge had all different type of artworks, all different for each event. And the only way to get this badge was by talking with the event organizer. So we had gave specific instructions to the event organizer, like, don't go up to everybody and just let everybody just start scanning your badge. We really wanted to make sure that people were rewarded for authentic and genuine, meaningful engagement and conversations with the event organizers. So we had said, if someone comes up to you and says, hey, can I get the Raizu badge? You can respond saying, okay, cool. Yeah. Before I can give you the Raizu badge, thank you for coming to the event. I'd love to know more about you. How did you hear about the event? What do you think? And start conversations that way. And then the event organizer would be like, okay, well, it was great to meet you. Here, you can scan my badge. And so, yeah, that's how it worked. And so, like I said, the Japanese culture really, really cares and wants to preserve those meaning connections. That's what they put first. It's not so much about making money or bragging, about they're this $billion company. Like, no, they really care about the connections that are being made and that they're genuine. So that's a little bit about that. Then once you go to the events, this is what it looks like. This is not the VCon one, but this is the one that took place in Miami. So this is a little sneak peek. So you had activations, or let me turn off the volume. You had activations at the event. You had these little stations, experience stations, and at each station, you can collect more badges. There was going to be someone who was leading, the activation, and they had one of these cards, and you can get more Raizu badges. So you can see here that this station, let me back up a little bit. This station is focused on Japanese children game culture. So there was like a pool of like these little floating balls, and you had like this little like paper thin nets, and you would try to scoop up as many of those balls you can and put them in a cup. Uh, the thing is that the paper was so thin that once it's wet, it like tears. So you had to try to be very gentle and very slow with like putting the balls in the cup. So if you got like X amount of balls, you were able to show proof, then you would get a badge. And then there was like other games to choose from. And these are all games that kids play when they're young, right? And so other stations they had was Japanese art, Japanese fashion, watching a little video about Suntory and the company, and so on. And so the more badges you collect, then you would go to the bar and talk to the bartender. You would show all the badges that you collected, and that gave you access to unlock different type of cocktails, different type of whiskeys on different shelves. And if you collected all of them, then you got to unlock the top shelf whiskey. So that was just like a really cool experience that they've had at VCon. They've had it in Miami during Miami Art Basel. They've had it at the Art Blocks event in Texas. What is it, Marfa? They've done activations there. And then their main one is in Japan, where they take you through a curated itinerary of some really like hole in the walls. Like some, like they might do one or two like Michelin star like restaurants, but they want to show you like what's called the hidden gems of restaurants and people that they know. A little hole in the walls that's like premium sushi, and just friendly all around good vibes. So they did that Japan trip last year, and they're going to do it again this year. And so I'm going to be able to go finally. Last year I was in Hawaii, couldn't make it because it was a family trip, but finally going to get to go this year. So with all that being said, they're going to be minting their next tier. Applications are open for their next tier. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, you got to know somebody. If you know me, maybe you can DM me. But this again is invite only, super underground. This, like I said, their Twitter account hasn't posted anything. It's kind of like you got to know somebody, okay? But I'm sharing the alpha with you guys because I think it's super cool what they're doing. So this is what they're going to be doing. This is Sakazuki Rise. They're calling it Rise Summer 2025. Be part of an unforgettable journey. Sakazuki's boldest evolution has arrived, revealing hidden pathways to rare experiences. Members now hold the keys to deeper access. So here it is, Sakazuki Green. Oh, wait, are you guys not seeing this?
No, it's not showing. Oh.
Sorry. Sakazuki Green. This is their next pass, okay? So Sakazuki Green opens the door for more people to join our exclusive community and enjoy special access. And now they're opening their ambassador program. I just applied. So with the ambassador program, you unlock the power of storytelling with the exclusive Sakazuki Ambassador Program. And I know that they're looking to give about $2,000 per event to host a Sakazuki event. Then this is coming soon, the Sakazuki Gold. It isn't for sale, it's earned. Attain it and claim our most coveted treasure, an ultra rare whiskey. And then finally, also coming soon is the Sakazuki Japan experience. Sakazuki's Osaka experience at Rise 3X is our most ambitious yet, an unrivaled immersion awaiting discovery. So that is the experience that I'll be attending. It's happening in September, in middle September, and they are actually partnered with the largest expo ever, which is called the Osaka Expo. And so this happens, and this has is an experience that has been going around for a really long time. And then I think they paused it, and now they're bringing it back. And it's, I forget how many acres. I think it's like 300 plus acres of different food, art, music, like fashion, like just different things you can go see. And it takes months to literally like see everything. Like this is not something you do in a weekend or in a day. Like this is something you see over months, right? So of course that's going to be hard for any foreigners to like stay in Japan for months, but what they're doing is there's going to be a Web3 section that Sakazuki is doing, and there's going to be some art and fashion and things that they're going to be doing. So we get to go see that. But yeah, a little bit more about the Sakazuki Green. Let's look into it. So Sakazuki Green, be part of an unforgettable journey. The Green memberships, a rare entry has just opened. Your most accessible opportunity to step into the exclusive Sakazuki Circle. As a Sakazuki Green member, you'll unlock privileges usually reserved for our closest insiders. Exclusive items, select either a meticulously crafted rare green tea, Shochu Gyokuro, or a vintage Japanese plum liquor. Each option is strictly limited to only 500 bottles, never to be released again. So, guys, remember, like I said, some of their whiskeys like collect on secondary market for over six figures. And those are like collections that probably have like a few thousand in their collection. This is only 500. Okay. So I can't even imagine what those prices may be on secondary if there's only 500 bottles. Green event access. Be among the first invited to intimate Sakazuki experiences and private gatherings across the globe. Sakazuki Green is your guaranteed key to future occasions. On-chain community recognition. Your Sakazuki Green badge is more than an NFT. It is your digital passport marking your status within our community. So here's more information. The price is going to go for 50,000 yen, which is approximately 350 US dollars, which, guys, I shared with you. I paid $4,000 for my Sakazuki Silver Zero. This is definitely way more affordable than the silver. Okay. So membership applications are open right now, and they're going to close in a few days on the 14th. There's limited spots for the initial mint. And of course, early application is recommended. You must submit it by the 18th. And how to join? Apply. You submit your membership application. You get approval, notification within weeks after it closes, within a week. And then you mint. You secure your Sakazuki Green membership NFT at sakazuki.io. So yeah, these are the two that you get to choose from: the green tea or the plum liquor. And there you go. So Sakazuki is more than just drinks. It's about the unique experience and connections it fosters, making this community an unforgettable and special place. So yeah, they have all these curated experiences for the community. The craftsmanship is like nothing else. And yeah, they call it the Ichigo Ichi, which of course many of you probably know. And so yeah, it's not for everyone. It's invite only community. Every member will undergo an application process. Wine, rare spirits, and so on and so forth. And so yeah, here is one of the whiskey bottles. This is the Hakushu from the Hakushu distillery. And Keegan and I have actually tried this one like quite a few times, and even the clear bottle one too.
Yep.
So yeah. So there you go. That is 100% out there. You're not gonna find on Twitter anywhere else, unless you know someone from the community. You might have heard about it, but that is the very first time it's being shared. So,
Oh,
any thoughts or anything you want to share about that? I sent it to you. I sent you the application. You think you're gonna apply?
I mean, well, I didn't want to cut you off because you were giving such good details. You were really going into it. I think like I'm a big advocate of this project. I mean, not only because I really connect with what it's about, how it looks, how it feels, you know, the people that are supporting it or being part of the community, going to the activation, like you don't talk about something unless you care about it. Like you don't
Right.
care about it unless it has meaning and impact so that you resonate with it. And every project in this space is different. Every leadership team is different. What their missions and beliefs and cornerstones are is different. Like I
Yeah.
can tell you firsthand what Sakazuki is doing is something special. And I've said that about a few different projects on here because I feel like at this point now, after being in the space for 4 years, like spending hours upon hours in the space, you can really start to feel like, well, what is this project doing? What are they about? Are they, really resonating with me? Is this my vibe? And maybe it's not my vibe, but they are authentic. Like there's that too. But when it comes to Sakazuki, like they're doing it the right way. Like they're doing activations and experiences that are meaningful, and you're learning in the process. In my professional opinion, as a teacher, like I can tell you that the context and the pedagogy for the teaching, like you're learning about the culture by going through the process, and you're getting a badge for that. You're playing
Mhm.
the games that are part of the culture. You're learning about it. You're asking questions. You're going through the process, and at the same time, you're getting to meet different individuals, which is very curated. And so
Mhm.
people like to have authentic, curated, not only experiences, but also the people that are coming in, right? Because you don't want someone who's just coming in to like, oh, buy this, sell this, sell this. Like you want people that actually, again, are authentically connecting with the brand or with the organization or with the company or with the project. And so I think they do a really great job about that, where you have to submit an application. So you actually have to take the time to reach out or read about it, understand, and fill it out. Like, I know the only thing I can think of recently is like when you wanted to do abstract streaming, you had to submit an application. It's
You're
curated.
right.
Not everybody could get in to do it at first. Like I think you still have to
Yeah.
submit the application. So they're doing a great job of vetting people that are coming into this community because they want the right people that actually care, that are real, that are authentic, and actually want to be there for the right reasons and not just to be, extractive or being not nice. And so, yeah, I just like a lot of this stuff on top of the brand and how it feels. The logo looks cool. What they're doing activation wise is cool. I've known a chunk of the community members that we've met there. The activations are fun. The vibe is fun. So this is again something that like I would get behind. Like I want to get behind it and support them. So I'll fill out the application. Yeah, I'm probably gonna mint it if I get approved. Which hopefully, I've made some good time and inroads with them, everybody there, and it's fun. They're really fun people. I don't know if I can go back and forth to Japan on the reg, but you know what? They're doing experiences throughout different conference Web3 events, and Charlie's a good guy. Like met him multiple
Yeah.
times. If you don't know who we're talking about, like who's Charlie, you can go ahead and Google Charlie, the highball, and do some research, and you'll see like really nice, genuine guy, really fun, and yeah, it's been a good time every time I've gone to any of those events, which has been a handful now, including the dinner that we went to in Santa Monica as well, that you
Mhm.
got invited to as well by being a silver holder. So
Yeah, I've been able to take Keegan to a lot of these experiences because he's been my plus one. So,
So yeah, you got to know someone, and in real life, like that, a lot of that does happen, But in this case, like this is a legitimate company that's been around for over 100 years. So talk about consistency. They're there. Maybe alcohol and drinking is not your thing, so I get it. Maybe you don't want to be affiliated with that.
well, here's the thing is that like I was never a whiskey drinker before this. Like Maker's Mark, Jim Beam, like not the greatest whiskeys I've tried here in the States, but it's on another level with like trying like premium luxurious like limited edition like from different casks. Some are the French oak casks, French wine, like just different like things that I've been learning.
So look, just to give context for the 50 or so people that are here watching, whoever's here, like when I first got to try some of these drinks, we were in New York and we were at I think a dinner, and Charlie, who's the highball guy that's part of the Centauri group.
Wait, let me just say, by the way, when he's mentioning this, this was at NFT NYC, and they took us into their headquarters in Chelsea, New York. And they own a whole floor in New York. So we got to go like what I think it's like the eighth floor, and they have a bar. They have a bar. It's like all gold, all marble, like
And so the
super, super, super rich, super high end, super luxurious.
bougie, it was bougie, but
Bougie.
it's
Nate
not.
Alex is there. Nate Alex, if you guys know Nate Alex, we're gonna throw him under the bus right now. He came in wearing one of those like fake fur coats. Like, remember that? I was like,
No, that was actually G Money's. That he bought G Money's from the 90cc. That was
oh,
a real
okay.
one. That
Oh,
was real.
oh
That
yeah,
was a
that's
$2,000
right.
one, I think. I got a good picture of it. I've
You're
shared it
saying it was
before.
real fur?
Oh, I don't know what it was made out of, but
I'm
I
saying
know
it's
it was.
fake fur. I think it was fake fur. It wasn't real fur.
I'm just saying it was from the project, but
Oh, okay, okay. But we saw Nate Alex. He was there.
so, but point about to Vita's point, like it's a very curated experience in small groups that go through that, and so that was one activation during that week. Another thing that we went to was a separate dinner, and at the dinner, like so, this at least this is the first time I remember trying it. So these were like the samples of these whiskeys that were being shared to be a part of this project that come from the cast, that come from Japan, that come from the facility. Like that's a whole nother separate story to go into that of how they're picked and stuff. But he brought them and they have like all the Japanese writing, like these are like like it doesn't have the label fully of everything, brought straight from Japan.
Right.
And we were able to try them in advance.
And it was the whole thing he was saying, how he had to bring him through the airport, like
Yeah,
through
through
his
customs and
backpack in
everything.
these glass bottles, hoping
Yeah.
they don't break. Like,
And I'll be honest, like I was never really a big whiskey drinker. I'm still not. Like I do drink from time to
except for the
time.
ones I've tried, like I cannot, especially. And what's really interesting is like the plum wine. So I guess what I learned is that plum wine is like a lower end, generally a lower end spirit, right? A lower end liquor. And plum wine is not usually seen to be luxurious or high end. But there's this great story, about, and that's another thing is like the storytelling is so good from Charlie and from the team,
Yeah.
that they really make you feel and understand how um, limited edition and how important and how it's integrated with the Japanese culture, with the storytelling. It's amazing. But this plum one that they have, that if you become a green pass holder, you get to choose if you want that or the green tea one. But this comes from a woman in her 80s living in the snowy mountains in Japan, and she's been, crafting this plum wine with her bare hands for X amount of years, and her hands are tired. She can no longer make it, and so because of the temperature up there in the mountains and the type of water that's there, it's just so pure. And when you get to try this plum wine, and you just have like one sip, like one drop on your tongue, it's unlike anything I've ever tasted in my life. And I remember like how excited I was for my sister to try it, because it's
Mhm.
like, what's in this? It's like addicting. Like you want more and more and more, but there's
Yeah.
only so many batches left because this woman is never going to make this again.
Yeah.
She's eventually going to pass. Her hands can no longer do it, and Japan is not going to mass produce this because it's too expensive. It's way
Mhm.
too expensive. And so they decided, let's take this and let's like take it from the back that we've been holding it, and let's give it to the NFT holders. And so it's amazing and so good. But yeah, go ahead, Keegan.
Oh yeah, it's just bottom line, it's like a very unique experience. It's a unique situation. It's you're not
Yeah.
going to find this with other NFT projects, in my opinion. And then you're not going to find these type of experiences of authentic culture and just like the story that goes with it. But they're true stories that help express what their brand is and what it represents.
Yeah.
And so, again, another big part of the variable is I feel like is just the leadership and how the team is and getting to know them.
Right.
Like it makes me want to get behind the people that I resonate with, that I believe in, that are nice and that care. And like I've said it for a few weeks here, like there's different groups that I want to get behind because I think they're doing special stuff. Like OSF with Rec Guy, I think special stuff. Charlie and company from Sakazuki, they're doing special stuff. Michael Figgy and Garga, 10KTF, like and other side, like they're doing special stuff. Luca, like all these people, Gary Vee, like, and I'm not even holding all of these projects, but I still resonate with what they're doing and how they show up and how they actually do what they
Right.
say they're going to do.
So their idea is that, like, okay, for example, I like to think Keegan and I are like authentic, genuine people in the space. We never try to do anyone harm or steer anyone the wrong way. And so their idea is that getting to know people like Keegan and I and others, that we make recommendations, right? They want to hear from us, like, okay, who would be a right fit? Who is someone who is genuine? Who is someone here who is not just going to sell those bottles? Like, that's another thing, is that, like, they don't sell shame, like, you're more than welcome to sell these bottles. But they care more about, like, do you care about the time and energy that they take to do the storytelling and to actually understand Japanese culture. They know that Japanese culture has gone very mainstream, but it's like not as understood at the core, because it's very different
Mhm.
than the lifestyles that us Americans and other countries may be used to. And so
Mhm.
that's something that's been really nice, is that it's gotten us to kind of slow down and really think, like, wow, the Japanese people really care about the connections. They really care about everything from how they eat together to how they cheers together, and just the respect and the humbleness that the Japanese people carry.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, and
anyways,
then just to kind of close it off, like the two other things I was going to say when it comes to like getting behind it, like not everybody can do that, or not everything happens as fast as we like. But when things happen and the teams like produce and show up and they do as much as they can, like I want to get behind them, you know? And
right,
so like I'm glad that the teams are still here. It doesn't matter what chain it's on, or what L2, L1, like whatever it is, like if they're trying and they're authentic and I've spent time and I believe in it, I'm going to vocalize it. Like,
yeah.
and Only Force another one, like things are taking a
Well, we
little,
got to get going, Keegan. We got not to cut you off, but
well,
you're gonna go on and on about teams.
well,
So
that's the thing. San Diego FC team, like they're doing it
it's
in
about
real
to be
life.
3 o'clock. We got to finish the news.
You still have news?
Yes, that
Oh,
was
okay.
just the Web3 Alpha.
Oh, okay.
We still got to cover mainstream and the layers beyond. Beyond, we still got a lot. So I'm gonna go through it pretty quickly. So let's get to it. We could say more and more things about
Okay, go ahead.
Sakazuki and Japanese culture, but yes, let's get on with the news.
Okay, read the
Okay,
first.
here we go. Let's share this screen. Okay, so now I'm next to the mainstream layer. Okay, so this is not necessarily Web3, but really cool, like, or I guess some of it is Web3, but really cool news that's happening in other tech. So Jack Dorsey, you may know him from creating Twitter, and he also created the decentralized app Blue Sky, which I have here. But he has released a new product, a new service, and it is a decentralized encrypted messaging platform, I guess you can say. So it's called BitChat. And so basically the features are, this is offline communication. So this is working without internet using what's called a Bluetooth mesh network. It's end-to-end encryption. So all messages are encrypted with something called Curve 25519 plus AES GCM. It's extended range, so messages relay through peers reaching 300 miles plus, I'm assuming. Favorite systems, so store and forward messages for favorites indefinitely. Mentions, use at nickname to notify specific users. rooms, create rooms for topic-based conversations, password rooms, secure rooms with passwords and AES encryption and privacy, no tracking, no servers, accounts, or data collection, and so on. And so this is something he's created. It is decentralized, and so yeah, this is really interesting. He's always working on different things, but I think that's pretty cool. How like you can message with other people. I mean, just think back to unfortunately, some of the unfortunate events, the natural disasters like the Texas floods, where power lines go down, you have no access to internet, and you're in a very, very stressful, dangerous situation, and you need to get a hold of family right away. BitChat could potentially work. If you're having very private communications, and you're sharing files and things that need a lot of privacy, BitChat would be good. If you have children, right, you don't want a child to have a full-on access to an iPhone that gives them unlimited access. Just get them an Android or even a pager, I've heard, and use BitChat, and you can have these private conversations with your kids, right? And it's secure. So yeah, so that's something that's pretty cool that came from that. Any quick commentary on that, Keegan?
No, I saw this earlier. I didn't do like a deep dive, but I think I saw, yeah, it runs on Bluetooth. And I think I
Mhm.
read something where like it takes a while for the messages to go through, at least from a few comments, but I cannot speak on it firsthand. But, again, cool innovation. And I think stuff like this is what we need, especially if it's going to have any type of integration with Bitcoin. Like, I think we're
Yeah.
just going to continue to see more and more of that as we've talked about.
Yeah. Well, it is in test pilot, so they are still testing it. There might be a little bit of bugs or things that don't work seamlessly, but still cool tech in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, in other news, so I have this image here, and I didn't believe this at first because I was pretty confident that scientists know everything about the human body. Like, would you think that, Keegan? Like, we know what the brain does, the heart does, we know all the organs of our body. We have been studying this since like Da Vinci, right? Like, we know our bodies inside and out.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Well, we know. I don't know if we know everything, but you would
We know
think we
a
would
lot
know
of
a
things.
lot more.
We
Yeah.
know the major organs. We even know like the little atoms and things. That's my point. But guess what?
What?
Scientists have discovered a new organelle in the human body. Okay, so in the cell, they have what's called vesicles. Vesicles are these little like transporters, these little carrier packages that carry maybe debris or things that need to be cleaned up in the cell. They can also carry other things, but that's primarily what vesicles do. They transport like some of the debris inside each individual cell, and it exits out right through different mechanisms. Well, they discovered a new organelle that helps in that process, and this organelle is called hemifusum. Okay, let me share this article. Actually, here we go. Hemifusum. It's a new organelle, and basically, it's helping them to understand other things, potentially like complex genetic diseases. And they discovered that it's vital to how everything works in the cell. And it's basically a discovery of like how the cell recycles things and stuff like that. So, yeah, this could be clues to rare genetic conditions, something what's called Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome. It's a rare inherited disorder that can cause albinism, vision issues, lung complications, and blood clotting problems. So scientists suspect that the failure of proper cargo management within cells lies at the root of many such diseases. So they're speculating that the hemifusum can potentially lead to some of these diseases. So yeah, so that's pretty awesome that scientists are still discovering new things inside the human body. So really, really cool. Next up, this image here, we've got a doctor looking inside a patient with their an ear swab. And yeah, any guesses of what this news might be, Keegan?
How to prevent ear infections.
Potentially, potentially, but not quite. So, AI scientists have trained AI to sniff earwax and detect with 94% accuracy Parkinson's disease.
Wow.
So, yes, so this just came out last month from American Chemical Society. Let me share this here. Here we go. This is the article here. So let's scroll down. So previous research has shown that changes in sebum. Okay, so sebum are is sweat, basically oils and sweat. So every human has sebum, primarily in your scalp, oils on your skin, but also earwax. Earwax is sebum. So previous research has shown that changes in sebum, an oily substance secreted by the skin, could help identify people with Parkinson's disease. Specifically, sebum from people with PD may have a characteristic smell. Where am I reading? I lost smell because volatile organic compounds, aka VOCs, released by sebum are altered by disease progression, including neurodegeneration, systemic inflammation, and oxidative stress. However, when sebum on the skin is exposed to environmental factors like air pollution and humidity, its composition can be altered, making it unreliable testing medium. But the skin inside the ear canal is kept away from the elements. So Hyo Dong, Danhua Zhu, and colleagues wanted to focus on their PD screening efforts on earwax, mostly consist of sebum and easily sampled. So basically, what they did is they took 209 human subjects, and out of those 209, 108 of whom were diagnosed with PD, and they concluded that the earwax from people, or sorry, where am I? They analyzed the collected secretions using gas chromatography and mass spectrometry techniques. Four of the VCs the researchers found in earwax from people with PD were significantly different than the earwax from people without the disease. They concluded that these four VOCs, including ethylbenzene, 4-ethyl-ethyloluline, and pentanyl, and 2 blah blah blah, a lot of these chemicals are potential biomarkers for PD. So they trained artificial intelligence olfactory system with the earwax VOC data. The resulting AIO based screening model categorizes with 94% accuracy earwax samples from people with and without PD. The AIO system, the researchers say, could be used as a first line screening tool for early PD detection and could pave the way for early medical intervention, thereby improving patient care. So there you have it. AI is sniffing earwax and is predicting whether this person could have, markers that could indicate that they already have PD or could potentially have PD in the future. So they can catch it pretty early on. So yeah, any thoughts on that?
I think like anything when it comes to like health and preventative health and research and studies, like stuff like this, like we've needed this like yesterday. Like, and so the fact that AI is going to help like to expedite that, I think is really nice. And I think that
Yeah.
as AI gets better and better, we're going to continue to see more and more improvements on this in this side of the field. And so, if this is something that's going to come to fruition or that's already in play, like that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. AI is being used in healthcare and early research and early studies, and yeah, it's getting better and better. So yes, so now it's time for Beyond the Layers segment, where we talk things like AI, more AI, and specifically space tech. So some news I have for you guys today is this two images here. So here we go. We have this little image. It was supposed to be a GIF, but I guess it's not really working. But what we're looking at here, where this little tiny dot, and you can kind of see these orange lines kind of focusing on that tiny dot. What we're looking at is it's the third known object from outside our solar system to be discovered. So this is what they call interstellar. This is an interstellar object, which basically means that this is something that's not within our own ecosystem, right? Our own
Galaxy.
galaxy. This is only the third one that's ever been discovered, and it's coming inside. It's passing. So this is an interstellar comet called the 3I Atlas, and it is passing through our solar system. And it will make the closest approach to the sun in October. So yeah, this is really, really exciting. So let me share this article real quick. So Comet 3I Atlas is the third known object from outside our solar system to be discovered. Astronomers have categorized this object as interstellar because of the hyperbolic shape of its orbital path. It does not follow a closed orbital path about the sun. When the orbit of 3I Atlas is traced into the past, the comet clearly originates from outside our solar system. Comet 3I Atlas poses no threat to Earth and will remain far away. The closest it will approach our planet is about 1.8 astronomical units, aka about 170 million miles. 3I Atlas will reach its closest point to the sun around October 30th, 2025, at a distance of about 1.4 astronomical units, aka 130 million miles, just inside the orbit of Mars. The interstellar comet's size and physical properties are being investigated by astronomers around the world. 3I Atlas should remain visible to ground-based telescopes. So if you have a telescope, you possibly could see this through September 2025, after which it will pass too close to the sun to observe. It will reappear on the other side of the sun by early 2025, allowing for renewed observations. So guess where this was discovered, Keegan?
In LA at the Griffith Observatory.
Palomar Observatory in San Diego County.
All right, San Diego making moves.
They had started to see these here's the gift. Here's these observations. They extend back to June 14th. So it's finally confirmed. They kind of were already seeing the paths, something new in our skies. And yeah, it was confirmed. So there you have it. Any thoughts? Anything about that?
The space and science world is shocked. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I mean, I don't follow all the space stuff as deeply, but I know like you follow things every week kind of, and I think it's cool. I think it's cool to be aware. Like eventually, like I said, I think we're gonna have like a moon base here in our lifetime. I think that we'll probably do the trips to Mars. Knock on wood, if everything goes according to plan. But yeah, I mean, these little things are good to like pay attention to, right?
Yeah, I think that's really fun and really interesting. Outside of our Web3 news, there's a lot of other tech and advancements going on. But yeah, let's finish up this show with some of the upcoming events to keep a lookout for. We've mentioned already about a new day one, which is an event by Base. It is coming up July 16th. You do have to register and apply. I think, like I had mentioned in last week's episode, they're being very careful, I think, with who comes. I think it's something like you have to know somebody in order to get in. Listen, I put Rachel Rose as my contact. Rachel Rose is deep in the Base community, and I still haven't gotten word that I've been approved. So you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to go whether I'm approved or not. So I don't know. We'll see if we can get ourselves in. There's still some time. Maybe I'll hear back. Fingers crossed. Keegan, did you ever apply to the event?
No, I never submitted.
Well, maybe
there's a soccer game. There's a San Diego FC soccer game, so I don't even know like if I'm gonna.
On July 16th?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. All right. I don't know. Gotta pick and choose Web3 or soccer. I don't know. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, if you're interested, go apply. You can go check out Base. Something else that I found out is coming up is Friends with Benefits Fest 2025. That is happening right before Rare Evo in LA. Well, I'm sorry, not in LA. In how did I say? Idlewild, California. August 1st through 3rd, 2025. So you can go buy tickets, but they're currently doing a giveaway over on Base. If you want to go check it out, I'm gonna go apply. And I believe the competition is you got to show your best picture touching grass outside. And so, for those of you who don't know what Friends with Benefit is that it's an industry defining emerging tech and music festival, a weekend of ideas, music, and experiences in Idlewild, California.
Idlewild. I used to go there to. I used to go there to the snow.
Ah, okay. So yeah, I think this is like the third year they're having it in a row. But you can see some of their biggest partners. We got Base, Polygon, and these others. So there is Web3 About Fest. Here we go. Since 2022, FWB Fest has provided the backdrop for creatives and technologists to converge for a weekend that's equal parts emerging tech conference and music festival. A long weekend of talks, live music, and experiences throughout the breathtaking campus of Idlewild Arts Academy in Idlewild, California. FWB Fest is open to members and non-members alike and is attended by creatives, founders, cultural producers, investors, emerging tech builders, developers, artists, critics, internet enthusiasts, plus, anyone allured by the cultural applications of emerging technology. During a time of accelerating technological innovation paired with great society uncertainty, we harness the most ancient networked technology for 1 weekend a year to shape optimistic tech futures IRL. So there you have it. I've heard so many good things about these events from the past years. I'm hoping to get to go. Fingers crossed I win the giveaway because they're giving away 2 free tickets. Let's see what they cost if you want to buy these tickets, actually. Let's see. All right. General admission 21 plus. You must be 21 is $99. Not too bad. I've seen worse. NFTYC, you know? So this looks way fun. We'll see if we get to go because it is right before Rare Evo. So I've got a code for you if you want to go to Rare Evo. That's in Vegas from August 6th through 10th. You can use code REDRUG, all capital letters, one word, REDRUG, for 10% off your ticket. So Rare Evo is a conference primarily focused on Cardano. There will be other chains and other founders there, but there will be a primary focus on Cardano. So if you're interested in learning or you're in the ecosystem and want to see what the latest tech is coming from them, Rare Evo is a great event to go to. It will be mine and Keegan's first time. And so, yeah, we're gonna be doing some live stream out there as well. And I think that's it. Just want to say a quick shout out and thank you to Keegan for sponsoring the show with 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays and his personal brand, Ground Game Strong. And of course, to Red Rug Edutainment, where you can experience the fun of Web3. So yeah, that's it. Any last words, Keegan, before we hop off and try to get to our meet and greet?
No, just thanks for hosting. Appreciate the support. Appreciate you leading the charge here. You do a really great production, and yeah, I'm sure the people that are here watching, supporting each week, and newcomers appreciate getting a little bit of what we're seeing and what we're thinking, and what we can kind of give some insight on. And there's a lot of stuff to follow, and I think this is another great space to kind of check out Layers with V Dizzle to get a grasp on what's actually going on, and what you can speak on.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I appreciate you hopping on to kick off this series. I think I've got only about 3 weeks, 3 more shows with you for you to join. And yeah, maybe you can make some appearances during the fall. But yeah, it's been a great show. Thank you, everyone, who's tuned in and supporting. Make sure you go subscribe over on the YouTube. If you go search Layers with V Dizzle, I would appreciate the subscription or just a like or comment, and share it out to your friends and family, because this is very like layer one, I would say. Layer one in the sense that we give it in an easy, fun, digestible way of Web3 and other AI and other tech in general. So, yeah, if you know someone who's kind of curious and needs to learn more and doesn't need to be overloaded, overstimulated with very, very deep knowledge about Web3 and other tech, then this is the show for them. So, yeah, other than that, we will see you guys next Tuesday with the latest news in the coolest corners of the internet. So, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
I guess.